What's going on, guys? This is Beast Beats, aka Crops, here with a deck profile for all you goat lovers out there. This is my second place Goat Guys Grand Prix number 2 deck profile. I went ahead and took my version of Beast Beats Stun / Bazoo Defusion shenanigans, and I lost in the first round and then managed to win the rest of the losers bracket up until the finals. 2-0'd the first match, I want to say, and then lost 1-2 in the final match of the finals. So this, from losing round 1 to almost winning, here is the deck profile. So I'm doing it with one hand because I don't have anything professional, but starting off with 3 Bazoo the Soul Eater, because Bazoo eats your opponent's soul. It's a pretty good effect. And then we got 3 Berserk Gorillas, because he just goes, pumps his chest and beats him down with 2k. Then we got a couple King Tigers. I like this card. Even though Scapegoat isn't too popular, it still has its upside against certain matchups. And bringing it back with Defusion, like if you knock your opponent's set Spy or Magician of Faith or something, if you bring this back at the same time with Defusion as they bring back their spies, all their spies will die on resolution. So that's a pretty neat trick. Then we got a couple Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer here. This is good against Chaos, which almost everyone plays for the most part. I don't want to lose to BLS and Chaos Orc. I mean, it still happens, of course, and of course, there's also those times where this gets Snatch Stealed. If you're lucky, if they haven't seen Defusion yet, or Bazoo, they might banish from your grave if they Snatch Steal this, and then you can use Defusion to bring those guys back, which has happened before. Then we got Breaker, Standard, Tribe. Some people are starting to cut this. I personally like it. Because again, when you Defusion, if you bring back your opponent's monsters, like spies or any kind of type that you're not using, because Beast isn't the most popular type that a lot of meta decks use, so you can Tribe, discard a Thunder Dragon, or really anything in hand, call Warrior, call Spellcaster, whatever you need to hopefully clear their board to get game in with the Dimension Fusion. As you'll see later, that's pretty much a big premise of this deck, is Bazoo Defusion, with a bunch of like beaters, and these 4 monsters, the 2 Kaikus and the 2 King Tigers, are kind of like floodgate monsters. And then we also have a little warrior package, DD Warrior Lady, Exile Force, and Mystic Swordsman level 2. So these are the 3 warriors that I think put in a lot of work. I hate Magician of Faith. I hate Magician of Faith, and any other threat like Thousand Eyes Restrict and stuff Exile can deal with, which also King Tiger helps not getting Thousand Eyes Restricted. And then DD is just good against almost any monster that you need to attack or banish, like Recruiters and just Sangan, stuff you don't want to hit the grave. Onto the spells, that is 18 monsters, I believe. Yeah, 18 monsters. And now, pile that over. Spells, Pot of Greed, Pog, of course, Graceful Charity, of course, Duo. I've actually side out Duo in games against certain matchups, just because life points are very important in this deck, and paying 1,000 can matter. And if your opponent's playing like Serpent, Night Assailant, Thunder Dragon, usually that just comes out. Couple upstarts, these also at times get sided out. One thing this deck lacks is draw power and consistency, so this kind of helps with just getting through the deck, because there's times where, I don't know who it was, but someone said Beast Beats is not a good deck because all you do is summon a big beater, attack, it dies to Sakuretsu, pass, repeat. And I'm like, I mean, that can be true in some regard, but that's definitely not true for this deck fully. And Upstart just helps us get to cards like Heavy Storm, which is good. MST, we hate back row. That's one thing we really don't like in this deck, is traps. Even though we burned through them with, like, usually you just throw Berserk Girl out there to die. But Snatch Steel, pretty solid card. And of course, Lightning Vortex. This card is also really crucial for defusion. You know, if you knock or if your opponent banishes Light and Dark for Chaos Soak or BLS, it's going to get to the point where when you Dimension Fusion, they're also going to get back a bunch of monsters. So being able to clear their board and attack with all yours is pretty crucial. Then we got 2 Rotas. This part is, you know, it's a little iffy playing only 3 Warriors and 2 Rotas. Usually I'll side out like a Rota, or depending on the matchup, or like a level 2 in a Rota for a couple other cards. But I actually find this okay because you can set it as a bluff, discard it with one of your discard cards that you play, or just really, I like seeing Exiled or level 2 and occasionally DD Warrior Lady against certain guys. So I haven't had too much problem, except I think in the finals actually, which you'll see, I end up drawing like all 3 Warriors and like 2 Rotas in the same game, which was the first time that happened. So that was pretty bad. But 2 Noblemen, which I've seen someone put Mind Control instead of this, because they were playing like a Bazoo Defusion deck, which I like that idea, but I haven't tested it yet. So there's just 2 knocks, and then of course, one of the big win conditions of the deck, 3 Dimension Fusion. This card is the game winner. It's probably terrible quality, that freaking wave in and out there. Okay, and 6 traps. So I call this the Trap Trinity: Ring, TT, Mirror Force. You got the powerhouses, and then you also have Call, which at first I didn't like because we're Bazoo banishing monsters. But I decided that it isn't the worst in the deck though, because you can call back level 2. If you already have Call set, you level 2, try to kill their Magician of Faith. Really don't like Magician of Faith. Sakuretsu, okay, flip Call, bring it back, get over that. I don't want them to Pot of Greed or whatnot again. You can also Chain Call to a Scapegoat, bringing back King Tiger, which is pretty nasty. And you can call back things like Haiku, Berserk Gorilla, Bazoo. You have good call targets, even though the premise is to Bazoo Defusion. And then the final 2 cards of the deck, 6 traps total, 2 Dust Tornado, which can destroy a magic, I don't think you can even see that, a magic or trap card. I like to, again, we don't like back row. Get rid of all the back row and go in for game. That's the 40 card main. And then we got 15 on the side, of course. Oh, this guy, you know, he's got his moments. He's not, I like to put him in against like Warriors and just decks where the King Tigers lose their flair. Against aggro decks, basically. 3rd King Tiger, again, just a good Floodgate, and 3rd Kaiku. So we got, depending on the matchup, we can put a 3rd one of each of those in if we feel like it's going to be needed. This one, I'm debating on if a 3rd Kaiku is ever necessary. I don't think it's the worst, but I'm not 100% sure what I want to do there. Couple books. I'd rather have this against Warriors than Noblemen in almost all cases. So that's a pretty an easy swap, 2 spells for 2 spells, and helps with our spell count for our boy the mage. Then we got 2 Decree for like Warrior, high trap decks. Could even honestly debate on putting a 3rd Decree in the side, because you only play 6 traps in the main. And I'll go over that in a second of what I would definitely change or get out of the side. 2 Light of Intervention. This is really dirty with King Tiger against flip decks like Mimic Chaos, any kind of like deck playing like 3 Magician of Fates, Pac-Man, decks like that where they're like really control heavy, relying on setting. If you open this going first and they don't have the out, it is probably going to just win you the game alone. And then we have 2 Threatening Roar. I really like Threatening Roar, primarily for the like Reasoning Gate or Rescue Cat, OTK. Any kind of, yeah, when they summon this cat right here, it's not rescue cat, but we don't want to lose right away. We also value our life points again since we're playing Dimension Fusion. This card isn't bad. It's come up in different matchups a lot, so I like Threatening Roar. I don't think I'd never really take that out of the side. 2-Trap Dust Shoot. This comes up, especially going first, but even going second against more chaos-heavy matchups with like Thunder Dragons, multiple Chaos Sorcerers, BLS. Being able to get that hand knowledge is crucial, especially when you get to go first, but also hitting, just a certain monster like a Chaos Mon out of their hand is good. And the final in the side is 2 Mind Crush. This is coming out. And I don't know what I was thinking. I suppose against like Rescue Cat matchup, this could be good because they activate Last Will and you Mind Crush, call Rescue Cat. But they might have Exiled Force, so then the Last Will can trigger from that. I don't know. I think this was a last minute choice, and I'd rather go with like either a 3rd Dust Tornado, a 3rd Decree, a different like Kinetic Soldier or something for the Warrior matchup, Mind Control, since I hate Magician of Faith so much, or like Ceasefire, just anything but Mind Crush really. And that's the main 15 card side. Extra deck, obviously you don't play Metamorphosis or anything like that. The only thing you really need in the extra deck is Master of Oz, Ojama King. No, you don't. Obviously, you don't need these. I actually would, though, have Twin-Headed Thunder Dragons in the side if you don't. Just in case, since you are playing Thunder Dragon. Glare is terrible. If for whatever reason you go against Fusion Gate, and you can banish your Thunder Dragons, bring out a Twin-Headed, defusion them back, bring out another Twin-Headed, but that's so rare and obscure. It's unlikely you ever go against Fusion Gate, but in case you did, always good to have. And I mean, you might as well just have a like 50 card plus Fusion deck. There's no reason not to. And yeah, that is it for the deck profile on my 2nd place winning deck. Hopefully this video isn't too long. I don't know how the quality is going to be, but nonetheless, I'm glad I got to record it. And thank you all. Thank you, Goat Guys, for hosting the tournament. It was fun. Congratulations to Necromancy. Well, I can't remember his user right now. Maybe I have it loaded up. I don't. Well, congratulations to him and everyone else. It was fun. F in the chat for Moxies. Bye.